This is 5 days worth of high protein lemon chicken, all done in 30 minutes. As far as the prep goes, we need to make our lemon sauce, cut up the vegetables, and dice our chicken. Starting with our lemon sauce, add half a cup of vegetable or chicken stock to a mixing bowl. 1/3 of a cup of honey. Just make sure none of it is stuck in the bowl and we use the whole lot. 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1.5 tablespoons of soy sauce or low sodium soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, and 1 tablespoon of corn flour, which is going to be used as our thickening agent. Grate 5 cloves of garlic along a microplane to create a paste, which is our best option for this recipe, making sure to scrape it all out so we have no waste. Cut 2 lemons in half, and then juice them on a citrus juicer. Just make sure no sneaky seeds decide to jump in. Add the garlic into the sauce, as well as all of our lemon juice. Add a touch of ground white pepper to taste, and whisk to combine, making sure everything is evenly incorporated. The corn flour as well as the garlic are thoroughly mixed through, and then we can pop this aside until later on in the recipe. Before we cut our veg, place a large pot of water onto our stovetop, whack this over a high heat, and then we can allow this to come to a boil in the background. We need 2 heads of broccoli as well as 2 bunches of bok choy, pak choy, or any green vegetable of your choice. You don't have to use the vegetables I'm using, it's just a great combination for this dish. Stand the broccoli up and then we'll slice around the core, separating all of those florets, and don't throw away this because we're going to use it. Trim up any of the florets, just make sure they're all the same size. Everything will cook a lot better that way, and then we can pop these aside. With our stem, just remove that woody end and discard. There's no point even using this. Trim off the outer layers. Some people do find this part bitter, so if you do find it bitter, you don't have to use it, but I'm going to use the whole lot. And then the center is filled with nutrition as well as a really nice sweetness. All we need to do is trim this up, and this can be put with the florets. As for the bok choy, if you're using it, cut off that root, and then just slice these into even sized pieces the whole way up. And make sure you give this a wash because in between these layers can be some trapped dirt, so make sure you thoroughly clean it. Last but not least is 1 kilo or 2.2 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken thigh. You can use breast if you prefer. I like to use thigh meat for this, especially most of my meal preps as well, because it reheats and stores so much better. Slice the chicken in half lengthways, straight through the center, rotate, and then dice into bite-sized pieces. And just make sure you trim off any gritty pieces that may be in there. And try your best for consistency too. That way everything will cook at the same rate and we won't have uneven chicken. The water's now at a boil, just lightly seasoned with salt. Add in the broccoli as well as the stems, and then blanch this for about 2 minutes. This is going to help soften it up and keep its color. After about 2 minutes, add in the bok choy, push that down, make sure everything is covered in the boiling water, and then cook for a further 1 minute to soften everything. Once that's done, carefully strain it and then place it straight into ice cold water to shock it and stop it from cooking. You don't have to do this, but it really does help maintain that color. And it's just a little step to make our life easier. That way nothing will burn when we go to saute it. Place a saucepan onto your stovetop. Add in 300 grams of washed basmati rice, 600 milliliters of cold water, and as optional, but a small pinch of salt. Place it onto a high heat. Give it a quick mix to prevent any clumps and then bring this up to a boil. When it is at a boil, place it on a lid, reduce the heat to low, and then cook this for 12 minutes covered. Turn it off the heat and then let it sit for 4 minutes with that lid still on. Place a pan onto your stovetop and whack this over a medium-high heat. Add in a touch of avocado oil, then add in our drained vegetables. Add in a pinch of salt and a touch of cracked black pepper. Then saute for about 2 to 2.5 minutes to get a slight bit of color on that vegetables and to get a nice flavor within that pan. You can also stir fry this if you prefer. You can add a little bit of sesame oil in there, a little bit of garlic. Choice is all yours, but I'm just gonna leave this nice and plain and simple because it mixes really well with the lemon sauce. After about 2 minutes, we're getting a nice little bit of color on there. We can then turn this off the heat and then remove it from the pan. To save dishes, place that same pan back over a high heat and get this pan nice and hot. Once it's nice and hot and lightly smoking, add in some more spray avocado oil. This is non-aerosol. And then we can add in all of our chicken. Spread it out so it's not sitting on top of one another. And we're going to cook this for a total of 10 minutes. I like to let this sit for about 2 minutes before mixing it all together. That way we can get an even crust all over. If you do this about 5 times, 2-minute increments, you'll get that beautiful color. After about 8 minutes, you can start to see that really nice golden crust all over the chicken, and it's built up a really nice foundation of flavors on the bottom of the pan. Lightly season with a little bit of salt. Don't add too much because of the sauce that we're going to add. I'm also adding in a touch of cracked black pepper, and then mix and cook for that final 2 minutes until that chicken is just cooked through. When you're ready, add in all of that sauce, mix this around, and this is going to help rip up all of that flavor on the bottom of the pan. That corn flour is going to start thickening up and create a really nice glaze all over our chicken. All we need to do is cook this for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. If the pan gets a little bit too hot, just slightly turn it down. Once that's done, just check it for seasoning and then remove this from the stovetop. And this right here is the macros for our lemon chicken, along with a single portion size. Now with our rice, carefully remove that lid and then fluff this up with a fork or a spatula. And what you'll be left with is this super soft, fluffy rice, nothing stuck to the bottom of the pan. You should have something that looks like this. Also, this right here is the macros for the rice alone, again, with the single portion size. Place the rice onto one side of the container. This recipe serves 5. Add the vegetables in the middle. As you can see, they kept their color really well. And then on the remaining side, we can add in our lemon chicken and that beautiful glaze. If you have them, sprinkle over a little bit of black sesame seeds on the rice. You can also use regular sesame seeds, which I am also going to use just on the chicken. And that leaves us with our 5 portions of lemon chicken. This is incredibly tasty, super easy to make. This is the final macro card for the complete dish. And the full written recipe, as well as the remaining nutrition, is in the link in the description. Let them cool down and then place on the lids. These will last 4 days in the fridge and 4 months in the freezer and allow to thaw overnight if you're going to reheat. If you're using the containers that I'm using, comes with a vacuum pump so we can get an extra day out of it. It will extend the life to 5 days. The easiest way to reheat these is doing so in a microwave on 1-minute bursts for roughly 3 minutes. And all that's left to do is we can then dig in. It's nice and simple, it's not overcomplicated. Best of all, you just set yourself up for the week or weeks ahead, depending on how you store it. And if you're a long-time subscriber around here, you might notice this recipe. I have updated it slightly, but it's okay to do that every now and again.